HBCU family, it is Wednesday, December 11th, and you are locked into a brand new episode of In the Quiet with Nick Eden. I am your host, Nick Eden, and we are back. And y'all, it's cool. You have refused to turn my heat on since this cold front came in. And I ain't gonna lie, today, turn that joint on. Like I got my blanket here. I got shit out to my folks. I got my Mississippi Votes hoodie on. So I'm going okay. Yesterday, it was here in Mississippi Gulf Coast. It was like 63 degrees yesterday. Which isn't cold, but relatively speaking, it is. Uh, but yeah, it's cold. It's cold today, so we'll have to do something. It rained last night, and then I had the window open. That cold weather came right on through. Good Lord. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of In the Quiet with Nick Eden, the show where we take all of the trending topics across the entire HBCU landscape and condense them down for your viewing pleasure. And if this is your first time tuning in the Quiet with Nick Eden, how this works is this. We take all the HBCU trending topics across the landscape like Twitter/X, fan base, Instagram, Snapchat, Fizz, IG, I said IG, Facebook. We condense them down into four main topics. It's the first part of the show. The second part of the show is my absolute favorite, and that is our fam topics. These are the questions and comments that you, the viewer, have submitted to the show. And if you want to get your topics into fam topics, it's really simple. Just head right on over there to my socials at Nick Eden on Twitter/X, at Nick Eden on Instagram, at Nick Eden on Fanbase. Click the link in the bio. Leave your comments and questions. And if it gets past Uncle Samson, I'll read it. I'll introduce those who are new to Uncle Samson just a little bit later. Look, y'all, we got a lot that's going on. Let me go ahead and say this real quick. Uh, Shout out to everyone who has shared, recommended, and all the other great things on my deconstruction of the ESPN Band of the Year. Uh, it was a first start, I did it exclusively on the HBCU Plus YouTube channel. And, that's a brand new channel. We're just over 1,000 subscribers, uh, thousands upon thousands of watch hours. I think we got like 14,000 watch hours, something like that. But it's a new channel, so it moves kind of slow. And yesterday, a friend of mine sent me where the video had been shared, and when I looked last night, it was at about 550 views. Before that, like this joint got up to it went 1,000 views just overnight. I say that to say this. I would like to publicly this. What's going on from the hill? Hey, listen, one of my absolute favorite shows. I know that's not supposed to be the case because it's Alabama A&M and we're rivals and all, but I've told y'all before, I love a well-produced show, and folks at From the Hill are just genuinely good people. Love them to death, support them. Make sure you guys subscribe to From the Hill podcast. So what's going on, y'all? I want to publicly apologize to the students, faculty, staff, and alums of Jackson State, particularly those of the Sonic Boom South. Here's why. So again, I'm going in and I'm looking at the comments, I'm looking at the likes, I'm just kind of getting a general feedback. And people attacking me. And they attacked me because of one thing I said in the video. What I said in the video was that someone's going to make you explain to me, let's explain to me how and why Jackson State went from being ranked number 3 in October to being ranked number 8 in November. It did not make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me at all. We went through the entire video, it's about 21 minutes. We went through, we broke down the criteria, we broke down the judges, we broke down what could happen to make this better and more engaged for the casual fans and for the band heads. And that's it. I'm so sick of you JSU folks. You sit there and say, what are you going to do complaining because you make the punk band and this, that, and the thing completely, completely went left on me. And at the end, I went through and I responded to several of the comments. And I'm like, I'm a Bama State alum. But when I tell you, why do it? Why do it? You don't know when somebody that feels sympathetic. Why do it? When Jackson State was just like, you know, they're always coming for JSU. No matter what we do, we just exist and they come. We get it. We get it. You go back to this 1 minute video. 1 minute before the place. You can less than 6. So for 20 minutes of the 1 minute video. But so many people in the community, so many people still like, do not understand how this happened. Which brings me to my first main topic, and that is the sonic boom of the South is pretty as hell. So, now, let me give you a little, let me listen, because I want to give you a little bit of backstory on this. So, I don't think that they're just out here being mean or trying to sabotage an event or anything like that. For those who do not know, and I should mention this in the deconstruction video, Jackson State told ESPN Band of the Year that they would not be participating in this year's Band of the Year. They told them, and it wasn't just Jackson State, Sydney University, the Human Jukebox, ESPN Band of the Year were not participating. We're not. So please don't include us in the rankings. We will not be submitting any videos. Today, told them this. And really, they put them there anyway. They put them there anyway. And we did it. Sorry. We're definitely the fact that they probably should have. Because they marketed this the NFL Man of the Year. To get your tickets, the Sonic Bonus South section. They said on several occasions, we will not be participating. And ESPN Band of the Year did it anyway. Now, one Alex, the opinion that said Jackson State and Southern are the teams everybody said they are, why were they still listed for months in the rankings? Why is there a section bonus season where you can purchase tickets? Maybe, just maybe. And I'm gonna say this completely unbiased because my Montreal Hornets are not there this year. But maybe, just maybe, they needed that pub of having the Sonic Boom of the South and Human Jukebox in their rankings. But this could have easily been, easily, they saw from the very beginning. Y'all saying I got a muffled sound. Okay, I got you. I may just have to switch up. I may have to switch up. Darn it. Darn it. Well, this is how you prepare, and you prepare well. Hold on 1 second. Put on momentum. I'll be right back.
All right, if y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me. I'm going to keep going like it is. We're live. We're very live. Let me just check my settings one more time. Testing. All right, looks good on my end. Let's see. All right, perfect. So again, it comes down to question that if that is the case, if that is indeed what happened, then quite frankly, Sonic Boom in the South and the Human Jukebox were used as marketing tools for the ESPN Band of the Year, which means if they weren't as hot as everybody says that they were, we wouldn't be having this discussion. It wouldn't even be a thing. They would have been on the list. They would have been included. And again, I'm coming completely biased on this. My Marching Hornets are not performing this weekend there. And this is not a diss towards BGMM, towards the Marching 100. It's just not. This is just once again, a lack of transparency, which I talked about in the deconstruction video. Now, let's get to the petty. Let's get to the petty. Because, boy, when I tell you, they were on one for this. All right. This 3 days ago, this is what they put out. It's official. We will be in Atlanta next week for the event we actually agreed to participate in. See y'all at the Celebration Bowl. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So what the Sonic Boom of the South is actually doing is they are putting together a high school recruiting event at Midtown High School, 5 o'clock on Friday, December 13th. The same daggone day as ESPN Band of the Year. Now, they had, I want to say, 200 spots for recruitment for high schools to sign up, right? It was free. Over 650 high school students signed up. That's not including alums. That's not including parents. We're talking literally over 650 sign up. So, again, to summarize this, because I understand some of y'all, you couldn't hear me. To summarize this, ESPN marketed Jackson State and Southern University as being at the ESPN Band of the Year, or possibly being at the ESPN Band of the Year, by including them in the rankings and ranking them over the last few months. The way that you get ranked is that you submit a video each month, and the people who vote based on those performances. The problem is, beginning of the year, both Southern and Jackson State said we will not be participating in the ESPN Band of the Year, and they marketed them on the list as if they were a contender for Band of the Year anyway. And so now, when you consider that ESPN Band of the Year had less than 300 people at the event last year, now you got even more of a chance that folks just not going to show up. It just looks messy. But again, I go back to my deconstruction video. If you would have gotten the influencers in the space involved, if you would have been more transparent about the process, how the voting is done, who is doing the voting, and expanded the voting to include the people who have made, again, I said it on the video, I will say it again. Marching band content is the most viewed content on YouTube. It's the most viewed content since then. It's not that they lied about the voting. They're transparent about the voting. What they left out was that both Southern and Jackson State said that we won't be participating. And I don't agree that they should have said something. ESPN Band of the Year should have said something. It's lying by omission. They should have just said that, look, we're not going to be there. And you wouldn't have had a lot of the vitriol that you had about it. But again, you have an event that is about marching bands that is not. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, because I do think that ESPN Band of the Year should be and could be an important event. But every other battle of the bands that happens across this entire country, where literally no matter where you are, the attendance is through the roof. Why? Because band folks are actually involved in the creative process, in the voting process, and moving things forward in the marketing process. And that is where I see the issue here. So, and I got to talk about something in fam topics, because this may not even be a thing next year. Just being honest. I'm going to talk to that a little bit later in the show. All of this comes down to the fact that it never should have included the Human Jukebox or the Sonic Boom of the South. From the beginning, I can see where you're saying that we get, I can see where you're saying, hey, let's get the thing out. But okay, I agree with this point. I agree with this point. They saw the monthly posting and they knew too, so they could have just said it and it would have made Billy play their card to stop adding them in. I don't think they would have stopped. I honestly don't think they would have stopped. I get what you're saying, but I do think that this should have been a transparency thing for Band of the Year to just come out and say, hey, JSU's not in it, Southern's not in it. Because here's the other part of this. By ESPN doing that, you left out 2 other potential marching bands that could have been included in the rankings. And let's not even get into the debacle about ESPN Band of the Year not including Florida Memorial, who won the Division II category last year. Phenomenal band. They won last year, and they're not even included because they didn't have uniforms, which is a larger problem that we could talk about within the HBCU landscape as it is. But my overall point in this is when it comes to HBCU content, what has the most views and drives the most views is marching band. Why do you not have the people who are driving that on a daily and weekly basis involved in the process? All that being said, y'all still petty as hell for this. So listen, shout out to Sonic Boom of the South. Y'all petty as hell for this. This is hilarious. But shout out to them. Y'all, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We still got a lot to cover in the HBCU landscape, including the future of St. Augustine's University. I've talked about this extensively on this show. So when we get back, we're going to be breaking that down. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Man, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
Wow. Hey, Jay, this project might need a bit of zhuzhing. Holla back, Warren.
Please let me know your thoughts. Best regards, Warren.
I am genius.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Hey, sweet new gear. It's like Best Buy hooked you guys up.
Pretty sick, right?
What is that?
That's our traveling trophy.
That's what's up, man.
Ah, a goat for the goats. It's these pro-level setups.
Last year's trophy.
Not a goat.
Nope.
What if you could get all the latest and greatest gaming gear from one place?
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eaton. It is 23 past the hour, and you are locked into we are right in the middle of our main topics. And this main topic, I hate reporting on this. I've talked about this at least 3 or 4 times on the show, including an extensive deep dive of what could be done to change it. The question of St. Augustine's University, the future of them is now in question. This comes to us from News Observer. St. Augustine's University is facing yet another hurdle in its fight to remain accredited, with the university's accrediting agency again voting to remove the private historically Black university from its membership. St. Augustine's announced Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, SACS, decision on Tuesday, making the 3rd time over the past year that the agency or one of its committees has voted to strip the university of its accreditation. Accreditation is crucial to several facets of the university operations, including students' eligibility to receive financial aid from the federal government. SACS voted to pull the university's accreditation last December, citing a host of reasons tied to the university's finance and governance. St. Augustine's leaders appealed their decision on 2 separate occasions, with a second attempt of success. Under that decision, approved by a SACS committee in July, St. Augustine's was allowed to keep its accreditation, but was placed on probation, which required additional monitoring of the university by the accrediting agency. Look, let me go ahead and say this real quick. This is personal to me. Let me pull up Liv's comment. Couldn't Shaw just take St. Aug's over since it's so close? In a perfect world, I would say yes. In a perfect world, it could be very similar to Clark College and Atlanta University merging in 88 to become Clark Atlanta University. In a perfect world, that's what would happen. Here's the problem. The difference between the CAU merger and a St. Aug and Shaw merger is that CAU actually had the support of the city, right? I spent very extensive time in Raleigh, North Carolina this year. And one, it broke my heart to see St. Aug's campus. It looked like a ghost town. It really did. And right now I want to say they have about 200 students. The problem is the city wants both Shaw and St. Aug's. Both. It's very well documented what's going on right now, how the city is acting as if somehow Shaw and St. Aug has not maintained a relationship with them, that, them coming to them asking for support and money is just, they even went as far as to say, you should probably establish relationships before you come asking for money. They want both of them. Shaw is right downtown. They want that space. I'm pretty sure it's either to expand North Carolina State. St. Aug's is in place that is completely gentrified. Everything around it. It's hurtful. It's hurtful. The city wants Shaw just like they want St. Aug. If anybody who's ever been to Raleigh, if you saw where Shaw is in comparison, because my office was right down the street from Shaw. I used to go by the campus daily. Literally, it is prime in terms of access to the highway, the surrounding business. Shaw University is prime real estate for the city of Raleigh. So it's not going, you're going to run into the same thing, right? And I think right now Shaw has less than 900 students. It seemed like even less than that. I went to the campus daily and I never saw more than about 50 people. Let's keep it a buck. St. Aug made that financial deal recently to secure the funds because they're more like, that's true. And the timing of that, like they were talking about that while I was there. I had a chance to sit down and talk with some of the administration while I was there. And quite frankly, you had faculty and staff that had been working at that point. This was in September, and they did not have money to pay staff. The staff was there essentially on a volunteer basis because they did not have the money to pay them. And so now what you're running across is you're running across a situation where, again, the area around St. Aug's is being completely gentrified. Completely gentrified. They want that area. They want downtown Shaw. They want Shaw because it's right downtown and it is prime real estate. So they're not going to give that money when they know they can get that money from private investors and bringing in people to tear the campus away. They want to be done with it. Like I said, they either want to expand NC State or they're, hell, they could probably try to make more to be in a parking lot. And unfortunately, that's the situation that we're in. Now, I am dead set on fighting everything I can to keep St. Aug's open. Everything that I can possibly do in my, whether that is donating like I have, whether that's talking about it on the show, whether that's reaching out to people who I know are money folks to get this in, because yes, they had leadership issues. They addressed the leadership issues. They made the changes. There are things that they could do from a programming standpoint that they already laid off 50% of their staff just to keep in line with it. But this could be the final nail in the coffin. I think right now, the person that you need to bring in for this, you need to bring in Dr. Kevin James, who is the current president of Morris Brown College, as an advisor in some role. It's something similar that he's doing, working with President Ray at Barber Scotia College. It's similar to what he was doing with Knoxville College to help them get back on track with their accreditation. I am not a fan. I am not a fan of SACS. I'm just not. SACS, in my opinion, has been responsible for more HBCUs closing than any other thing. And it's completely made in their decision. I am a big fan, and what a lot of these HBCUs have been doing is going to TRACS, which is a Transnational Association of Christian Colleges and Schools. It is a national accreditation, not a regional accreditation. Now, what I will say with that, because in a traditional sense, a regional accreditation has held a higher regard. All of our HBCUs that we love to talk about, we talk about Alabama State, we talk about Alabama A&M, FAMU, Jackson State, Alcorn State. All these are regionally accredited by SACS. And I know it seems like it's backwards because people see national versus regional and think that national is quote unquote better. Unfortunately, that's not how it's viewed. Regional accreditation is viewed as higher than national accreditation. Unfortunately, you have a lot of for-profit schools that have national accreditation, and there are some nonprofits, again, that have it. But what it does is it does put you in position, because right now, again, St. Aug's has 200 students right now. With them being put off of accreditation, that means they will not be able to qualify for financial aid, which means next month, that enrollment is going to drop even further. When in the spring of 2003, when Morris Brown lost their accreditation from SACS, they went from about 2,700 students to roughly like 150 in like a week. That's how many people transferred out that quickly. And they hovered from 2003 until they got their accreditation back at about 25 to 30 students per year, right? So that being said, the TRACS accreditation, one thing I will say, and I know that it's not popular to talk about the Trump administration, but during the Trump administration, the Department of Education put in place to take the designation of regional and national out and just is this an accredited school or is it not accredited? And honestly, I thought that was probably one of the only good moves to come out of the Department of Education during the Trump presidency. I'm not making this political. I'm just being honest with you. This is a situation where going with someone like TRACS will put them back on track. literally and figuratively. But in order to save the school cannot be closed, because it could be one thing if it was just bad leadership after bad leadership after bad leadership. You know, it's another thing when there is a concerted effort to close this school simply for a real estate play. And that is what the city of Raleigh is doing. And it is time for the leaders in Raleigh, it is time for them to be called to task for their part in the fall of St. Augustine's. I'm not taking anything away from what St. Aug has been responsible for on their part. But I do think it's beyond time to call out Raleigh for their actions against both Shaw University and St. Aug's University. We cannot lose any more of our institutions, especially when it's because of BS like this. So that's my take on it. And I'm praying for them. I am. I really am. I know quite a few St. Aug's alums and some faculty and staff there. This can't happen. This can't happen, y'all. So this can't happen. Anyway, sorry. I know when it comes to this, y'all, I get like super duper serious when it comes to HBCUs under attack. And I know sometimes that I can get, super passionate about it, but it's worth it. It's more than worth it. On to some better news. Our third main topic of the day. This comes to us from my friends over at HBCU Game Day. HBCU hoops teams beat Big 12 Big 12 opponent in overtime thriller. Angel Jones and Layla Lawrence combined for 43 points as Coppin State's women's basketball team knocked off Big 12 opponent Arizona State 74-68 in overtime on Thursday night at the PC Peak Arena? I don't know. The win was the Eagles' first over a power conference program at home in any sport. Jones led all the players with 23 points, hitting 8 of 20 from the floor, 7-11 from the line, while adding 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Lawrence scored 20 points on 8 of 16 shooting while pulling down 9 rebounds to go with the 5 assists, a block, and 4 steals. I really want y'all to go and read this whole article because it's a lot of good information. How the MEAC rolled on Alabama. Or Arizona State. Arizona State scored the game's opening bucket, but that was the only lead until early in the fourth quarter. Hammond answered the Sun Devil layup with a 3, and Coppin got up as many as 18-12 in the first, and a 3 by Lawrence at the 136 mark. Listen, I'm not gonna do this full breakdown. Let me tell you why. Because this ain't my ministry. This ain't my ministry. When it comes to, and I've said this before, when it comes to HBCU hoops, there are 2 people that I default to. The first and foremost, always gonna be Liv for hoops. She can break this down much, but I'm just reading off piece of paper. She can break this down in a way because I don't even understand what the hell I just read. I really don't understand what the hell I read, but she could break this down like a fraction. And then her Seward of HBCU Hoops Weekly. So I will default to them. I'm pretty sure. I think I might have retweeted it. I think Liv already talked about it. Liv, if you're still in the comments, let us know. If not, I know she will talk about it today. But in either sense, head over to Live for Hoops on IG or Twitter and get the breakdown on it because that ain't my ministry. But what I will say is this, and I've been saying this for the longest. Hoops is where we are. Our out-of-conference schedules, we're killing it. There are a lot of power conference victories that happen from HBCUs and in hoops. I think one of the main, listen, I don't think Auburn wants to play Alabama State again. I want to say we beat them like 2 years in a row. Wouldn't happen on the football field. That's just the honest truth. On the basketball court, completely different thing. So shout out to Coppin State. I think it's okay. Cool. Good deal. I did tweet about their win over George Washington last night, which was Coppin's first win ever over George Washington. I highly suggest watching Coppin this year. I will also note if you all look at the HBCU Player of the Week, male and female for basketball, I will say one of the people that is key to the voting for that is Live for Hoops. So you see that come out at the top of every week. You see it on the HBCU Plus socials. Let's see. Arizona State won't schedule HBCUs anymore. Gremlin beat them at home, and now Copper. Yeah, I get it. They like, hey, look, man, we can't be doing this. We can't be doing it. And they sure won't come and play us. Like, I would love to see some more at-home games with that. Similar to how it was with USC and Bama State last year. And that was a 20-point game. A lot of people were like, oh, no, they blew them out. No, that was a 20-point game. So, and our last main topic comes to us from our great friends over at Clutch Points. Shout out to Clutch Points, who's partnered with HBCU Pulse. Shout out to Randall, friend of the show, and my social media partner over at Urban Edge Network. Amazon MGM Studios makes a big move in support of HBCU alumni. Amazon MGM Studios has partnered with the Entertainment Industry College Outreach Program to provide HBCU students and alumni with internship opportunities. Amazon MGM Studios, I already said it. Enough with it. HBCUs are often underrepresented groups. Through this partnership, EICOP will be able to continue its effort of bringing different points of view to the table by offering paid internships in all areas of its business starting in the summer of 2025 to student leaders and recent college graduates. We're committed to building a home for talent that nurtures creativity, inclusive storytelling, and innovation both on screen and off, said Amanda Baker Lane, global head of DEIA for Amazon MGM Studios and Prime Video. Through our partnership with EICOP, we will continue to amplify these voices of the next generation of entertainment and industry leaders. Head over to Clutch Points. Check out that entire article. Let me go ahead and say this. I talked recently. Okay, I got hot now. Woo! I talked about this recently with the Atlanta Falcons partnership with Atlanta HBCUs. I've talked about this in the past with Alabama State's partnership with Wall Street firms, Alabama A&M's partnership with NASA. We need these partnerships to provide these opportunities because these students and these young alumni, we got to make sure that job placement, i.e., is there, and that the internships are better and more robust. So big shout out to Amazon MGM for that. I think that's going to be great. And also, while I'm on that, my plan is to be at the HBCU Legacy Bowl in New Orleans in February. My plan is to go directly from that to the CIAA tournament. And so we'll see. But that is my plan. I say that because during the HBCU Legacy Bowl, there is a career fair, which I participated in as a vendor a couple of years ago with my old company. Let me tell you something now. If you know an HBCU junior, senior, or recent college grad that is trying to move in the space of sports, entertainment, management, athletic training, anything like that, you need to have them in New Orleans in February at the HBCU Legacy Bowl Career Fair. Hear me and understand me. We're not talking about any BS jobs. We're not. I probably had the most BS job there to give, and even those were starting at like 60, 65 entry level. So I'm telling you, if you know a student like that, you need to have them at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Again, 8 times out of 10, y'all will see me there, but I just wanted to make that point. Y'all, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back with my favorite part of the show. Y'all already know what it is, with the fan topics. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
What needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too long. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Wow. Hey, Jay, this project might need a bit of zhuzhing. Holla back, Warren.
Please let me know your thoughts. Best regards, Warren.
I am genius.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, you're gonna love this. He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, these cars are going fast, I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. Hey, y'all. Listen. It is time. It is time. Before I say it, let me say, I was taking all the stuff off, like, I'm hot now. And then I almost took the hoodie off, and I was like, wait, I don't have a shirt on under here. I'm not going to be on this network, on this YouTube channel, and definitely not on Twitter with my titty nipples out. Like, that is not going Yo, I almost made a huge mistake. I almost made a detrimental mistake. But it is time. It is time. It is time. Y'all already know what it is. Bang! It is time for my favorite part of the show, which is Fam Topics. Y'all, I've not been able to do this for almost a week because we've had so much other things that we've had to do, talk about. Y'all know this is my favorite, absolute favorite part of the show. And this is the part of the show where I get your questions and comments. Even though y'all have really stepped it up with the comment section on YouTube, which is why I love reading those. That's kind of like my cheat way of reading Fam Topics at the beginning of the show, because I just love this part so much. And I do think that probably one of these days I'm going to do, maybe on Freestyle Fridays. Maybe on Freestyle Fridays, that is an entire Fam Topics show, right? Maybe that's what we do. I'm still working out how I want to do things with the show, but that's gonna be one of them. And again, if you all want to get your questions and comments onto Fam Topics, it's really simple. Head over to my socials at Nick Eden on Twitter/X, at Nick Eden on Fanbase, at Nick Eden on IG. Click the link tree in the bio. Submit your questions, and if Uncle Samson says yes, read it, then that's exactly what we're gonna do. All right, so let's get to our first Fam topic. All right, our first topic. If the ESPN deal really is dead, what happens to the Celebration Bowl, and will we go back to not seeing the games? So I know what they're talking about, and I think there's another Fam topic. You know what? Let me answer the other question first, and then I'll come back to this one. Nope, that's it. That's it. All right, so yesterday on Oscrip's show, the word on the street was that ESPN is opting not to renew its deal with the SWAC. So here's the deal. One, it's not confirmed. I believe that to be the case. I've heard the rumblings as well. So, there are a lot of people who, listen, I get it. Some of y'all don't like Scotty. I understand. But this is credible. I've heard it myself. I've heard it myself. This is credible. If the ESPN deal is dead, I'll be honest with you, I think that is the best thing to probably happen to us in a long time. That's the truth. I think that's the best thing to happen to us in a long time because it gives us an opportunity to explore what comes next. And this is what I mean by that. We know that viewership for the SWAC has been good to great, sometimes bad, but for the most part, good to great for a long time, right? And for the MEAC as well. I do think that if this deal is dead, it gives us an opportunity to shop around. It couldn't have come at a better time to come in December, which gives us plenty of time to shop around for a new deal. Now, in fairness, deals of that magnitude, they don't happen in 2 weeks. That's true. But I would rather this happen in December than happen in May or June, right? Because then we're just kind of forced to take whatever deal we got. So I am a big fan. I think that if they do not renew, if I'm not mistaken, 2025 is the last year of the deal. If that is the case, then what we put ourselves in position to do is you got all of this year to do it, negotiate, get your stuff in place, and come out strong in the next year. But I don't know the timing of it. The details haven't come out. I will say this much. I know some of y'all really love that 4-letter network. Let's be honest. Most of the viewership has come from ESPN Plus. Most of it has come from the streaming. And there's a reason for this. And I've been in this space for a while. It's not that linear TV is dead, but I don't expect a significant deal from linear television. I don't. And there are plenty of examples of traditionally linear programs that have moved to streaming. I.e., we all right now, I don't know how bad my internet is right now, but I probably look about as fuzzy as the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Boxing has traditionally been on HBO, on Showtime, on Max. And you got it on Netflix. All right. You look at Amazon, stepped into the space, acquired Thursday Night Football, which a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to suffer. No, they're thriving. They're thriving. I knew they were thriving when my mom was like, well, let's go ahead and get Amazon Prime because she didn't want to miss Thursday Night Football. We are in a space now where digital is taking over. Now, do I think there are way too many digital streaming platforms? Absolutely. Absolutely. But realize ESPN, for the most part, carries football, carries a little bit of basketball, and the other sports are just left by the wayside. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. And then when you talk about being on ESPN, rarely are we on ESPN. We're usually on ESPN2. We're on ESPNU. We're on ESPN 45 or whatever the case may be, which if you don't have that cable package, you can't watch it. So what does this present the opportunity for? One would just have to look at my show. Look at the advertisers that are on my show. All of them have an interest in sports, and clearly, because I get a check from them every month, they have an interest in HBCUs. You got Apple. You got Amazon. YouTube TV is an option. Flow Sports. Go talk to some of the Aggies. Dave is a great example of talking about this. Go talk to some of the Aggies about their deals with the CAA with Flow Sports. Now, I got a chance to see a little bit of Scotty's show yesterday where he talked about it and some of the solutions that he and Zoe were offering up. There are certain things I agree with. There are certain things I don't agree with. I do agree. It seems like that the SWAC is trying to put itself in position to have a 24-hour streaming platform. I think it's a mistake if you try to do all this original programming. This ain't the NBA. This ain't the NFL. There's not billions of dollars for you to lose money on before you can turn a profit. So while I agree with a partnership of a SWAC digital network, I do not agree that you all of a sudden have all these different shows with all these different analysts, because what happens is you end up overpaying. A good example of this will be what happened with BNC, Black News Channel. They came out the gate and it's like, look, we've got hosts for this show. We got Mark Lamont Hill, and we've got Ebony K. Moore. We got all these people, and we got all this programming throughout the day. When watching trends show us, like, yes, I'm on during the day. I have to train my audience to tune in at noon. Scotty goes live around the same time. I wish he would stop it. Doc Holliday is around right now. Stop it. Let's be honest, though. When you take YouTube and Twitter and put it in, you're talking about between 150 to 300 viewers daily between those two platforms. On the app, I'm waiting to see what it's going to be like on the UEN app, but on the HBCU app before it was closed, I was averaging 10 to 13,000 viewers per day. That pales in comparison to a lot of other daytime programming. So what they need to do is, if this is what they're going to do, then we need to have a SWAC digital network. I'm with that. Let's get some SWAC classics on here. Let's get some documentaries on here. Let's get some programming on here that actually goes to keeping people engaged in the app. That's what you're going to have to do in order to keep people there. Because that's the thing that I think that sometimes we here at HBCU Plus have failed at. I think that HBCU Go has failed at, is keeping people there after the game. So, listen, I think it's a great thing. I think and look, build our own network, play the long game. Because I'm telling you right now, this is a prime example of playing the long game. WWE had been rocking on USA for over 20 years. They launched the WWE app in 2011, I want to say. And now you see they got this landmark deal for $5 billion with Netflix. It shows you that streaming is trying to get into live. You know, you got Peacock. It's so many options here. So I hope that actually works out. Now let's go to the other. Nick, what do you think about Ostrip saying the Michael Vick Norfolk deal is not coming up because of the PWI offer? I don't know. It's not confirmed. I don't know. But I do know that sometimes we can be our own worst enemy in that. And I don't know. I'd wait to hear something from Vick's camp to see if that's something he's even interested in, to see if it's, actually going to come to fruition. But in either sense, I hope that Norfolk does I hope that Norfolk does actually go through and keep their coaching search, because whether Mike Vick comes or not, you're still gonna have to have other options. So, all right, what else we got? Do you think? Yes, I do think that sometimes HBCU alums we're sometimes too elitist. I saw that with the Vick situation, and the reason I say that is because everybody, he doesn't have a bachelor's degree. He doesn't, and then someone even went as far to say he should just buy a bachelor's degree from Talladega like Prime did. No, that is not. I hate that, and I'm going to have a full show about degree hacking, college hacking, and how Prime was able to use the Talladega fast track program to get his degree. I think we're going to do a special show. Really, I'd like to do it this week because I got a lot of info I'd like to break down. People have asked me about it. So yeah, sometimes we can be a little too elitist. Let me get one in paddles, frat. Shout out All Hell. Look, I finished a couple of them. Y'all seen them on my page. I do paddles. I've knocked out a couple this week. But yeah, holla at me, man. Send me a DM. Shoot me an email. My email is in my link tree on my bio. I just finished it. First off, let me go ahead and say, I want y'all to see this joint. This joint is so cold. I finished this the other night. And at first, I am not a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, but I ain't gonna hold you. This joint right here, this joint right, I'm talking about with the spikes and man. When I tell you, and I'm actually mailing that out to the customer today, Listen, I'll be in my bag with the paddles. If you're still in the comments, I'm going to mail you yours. It's in Atlanta right now. I'm going to mail you yours. You're supposed to get it at homecoming. But that's beside the point. What's our last one? I know you said Rich is toxic, but I think HBCU alumni is just as toxic. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Now, HBCU Alumni United, if y'all don't know, is a Facebook group. It's got about, oh my gosh, it's over 100,000 HBCU alums in that group. It's absolutely amazing. But it can get toxic, but it's nowhere near as toxic as Ritz. Now, there's some people in HBCU Alumni United who get on my absolute nerves, and a lot of them come from two schools. I'm not going to say the name of those two schools. I'm going to leave it at that. But I think it does more good. I think if it gets back to what it was originally, which was a platform to expose things about HBCU culture, because sometimes we get siloed within our own HBCU or our own school rivals, our own athletic conferences, and we don't understand the full landscape of HBCUs. And we were giving every week. Every week, there was a campaign to give to another school. I gave to maybe 20 schools in 2020, just through HBCU Alumni United. So I think it has a lot of good to it, but I don't think it's nearly as toxic as Ritz. Y'all, let me get my final thoughts, and then we're gonna get out of here. Real quick, I say the same thing every time. Y'all be safe. Y'all know we got Celebration Bowl coming up this weekend. This may be the last one. And if that's the case, I say we go back to the Heritage Bowl. We get our own band of the year or partner with the Honda to bring it back to Atlanta and actually get one that makes sense. If it's not, and if this is not the case with ESPN, I hope they just do better. That just is what it is. We got to do better, but we also have to start demanding more of ourselves. So I want to thank everybody who took an hour to tune in. Don't forget to follow me at Nick Eden on Twitter, at Nick Eden on Instagram. Subscribe to the HBCU Plus YouTube channel. Download the UEN app for free, and I will see you all same time tomorrow